you doing this? God, somebody help me!
Okay, hello. Can you guys hear me now? I'm sorry, my mic wasn't working. I apologize for that. Can you guys hear me good now? Do I sound good fine? Yeah. Sorry about that. Hey Pro, I wanted to thank you for Crime Boss and the DLC on Steam. Haven't played it yet because I was busy playing so many demos on Steam next fest, but I will soon. Thanks again. No problem, Bunny. And that game is it's worth trying. I'm actually gonna be having a video on it soon. The developer added so much content to the game and so much free content, and they're adding in their story expansion. They added one story expansion last year, and they're adding another story expansion in a couple days. Okay. Let me just, General, the posse is open if you want to join it. Thank you, Bunny, for the super chat. What do you think the last GTA Online update to be? Maybe mansions. That would make sense for being the last DLC. I don't know if it's gonna be a heist DLC because they're probably not gonna want something massive right before GTA 6 comes out, but no, you don't, Janice. I can add you. If Kanzai is here in the chat, I tried to add you last week, Kanzai, but when I put in your PSN, nothing came up. The PSN that you gave me. So you probably would have to message me then. I know you're agnostic, but as a believer, I see God as a person relationship, and I think most see him as a religion. Religion is a system of rules with the relationship of God. It's how I see him. Well, there's nothing wrong with having a, you know, nothing wrong with having a belief in God, having a religion. Thank you, Chrysland, for the super chat. I'm an agnostic. I kind of lean more towards believing. Yeah, like I said, I don't mind what religion people believe in. Hey Pro, how are you doing today? I'm continuing my bully playthrough on my channel. Did you see the Kane and Lynch torture thing I sent you on Twitter? I did, actually, yes. Golden, I saw that. I do remember in Reddit Online that Bounty Shepherd. I had a unique fight where he was fighting me unarmed, which actually made him way more dangerous since he's wearing metal armor, which makes him rupture-proof. Bounty Shepherd. I'm trying to remember which, Wait, Lendon, can you explain a little bit more, what bounty specifically? Bounty Shepherd? He's fighting you unarmed. Oh, the cult leader. Oh, that guy. Oh, okay. I remember now. That's actually one of the last few DLCs that's actually been added to Red Dead Online. The cult leader. I remember that too. Yeah, it's one of the last few things that's been added. Yeah. No, there's nothing really new on Red Dead Redemption. I'm gonna check up here to see if this bounty's here. Hey, Slick, it's me. Yeah, I hate that line, too. Devin Weston says that. What history do you specialize in? World War II or modern history? Damn, where is this guy? Thoughts on Turkmenistan? It's a brutal dictatorship in Central Asia. The dictator there is a complete psycho. No, I didn't look into that. I can look into it a little bit later, Mason. Yep, they never finished the online story. The thing is, though, is I want to make a video, like a lore video on the Jessica Leclerc story. I is giving my final thoughts on it. Wait, what's up, Dynasty? Tariq Terry? Oh, Metal Gear Solid. I actually will be playing Metal Gear Solid 1 later this month. When I finish all the other playthroughs, I'll be doing it. Say I'm a goddamn onion in a grandpa accent. I'm a goddamn onion, Mason. That's basically it. Yeah. Like, I'm a goddamn onion, Mason. That's how Wood says it. It's so stupid. It's just a terrible line. I'm asking you, wait, what, Dynasty? Phelps badge 12447. How can I help, detective? Yeah, eventually, Ian. I'm anybody that's asking about lore videos, just be patient, guys, because I have so many projects that I'm running around with right now, and I have like 4 playthroughs going on, so I'm just trying to get them all done. Okay. Virgil Shepard was literally fighting me in melee instead of using this his hunting shotgun. Fighting him unarmed in melee is pointless because the medieval armor hitting him won't have any effects. Ooh, yeah. That wasn't okay, Gale. I know what you were trying to do. As I'm sorry when people make these offensive super chats, guys. Phil can't brag about killing Vito. He can't. The next day, Dom comes in and talks crap about Vito. Bad idea. Oh, you mean Sopranos? That's what you're talking about, Aiden. Instead of cause him to spam punch you quick. We could probably try to do that bounty a little bit later, Lendon. I could try to do that one later, the cult leader. Pro, is it true that Mexico declared war on Germany during World War II? Probably. A lot of countries declared war on Germany like the last few weeks. I think it was like Brazil declared war on Germany like 1 week before they collapsed. So it's like pretty much the entire world had declared war on Germany right when they were about to collapse. Wait, what, Sam? The next update in GTA Online will probably have like 1 or 2 cutscenes at most. Thank you, Alien, for that super chat in London. This game is fun, but with friends. If you're playing it solo, yeah, you're gonna get bored pretty quickly. Crap, what the... There's so many of them. Original voice actor for Wood said, also said that he wouldn't say that. Yep. Favorite British rock band? I probably wouldn't be able to name them. I have something to tell you, Pat. What's up, Phoenix? Hey, On Titan. Hey, Mizor. Do you know that the pink teddy bear in Breaking Bad actually means innocence in this dark world we live in? It foreshadows characters' deaths like Gus. Oh. Thank you, Phoenix. I don't know if I remember the teddy bear. I do know a lot of the Breaking Bad characters, though. But I will tell you, though, that there is... when it comes to Gus, though, there is symbolism regarding him. Because if you notice, he runs a chicken restaurant. But yet, what does he eat most of the time? Most of the time, whenever he eats fish, seafood. That's what he eats most of the time. And the fact that he owns a chicken restaurant but he eats seafood all the time, that symbolizes that he's two different people. What makes you like about Hudson? Well, it's not that I necessarily liked Hudson, but I just didn't like the It's not that necessarily that I like Hudson. It's just I thought he died really stupidly. You couldn't have described Red Dead Online better. It's a fun game to play with your friends, but if you're playing it by yourself, you're gonna be bored. If you're a new player, if you are a new player in this game, you are going to find you have a lot of stuff to do, like collector, bounty hunter, trader, naturalist. But once you complete everything, including the Red Dead Online story, you will be bored. What's that, Zach? The most evil character in all of fictional media? Maybe Makarov in Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare series. Probably the most evil fictional character seen in the game. No, I haven't, Mr. Nowhere. It's just I haven't gotten to finish the last 2 episodes. It's because it's the playthroughs. There's just so many playthroughs that I got going on. Call of Duty World War II, Ace Attorney, L.A. Noire. It's just all of those going on right now. It's just making it hard for me to watch anything on TV. But when I finish some of the playthroughs, I'll finish the last 2 episodes. I do play Fallout 76. And Watch Dogs, right? Watch Dogs, sorry. Watch Dogs will be tomorrow. I haven't played the new update, so I can't give an opinion. But I will say, them adding the ability to play as a ghoul is very interesting. Because that's never really been done in the modern Fallout games. What's your opinion on Sadie Adler? Oh, interesting character. She had a lot of character development over time. She went from being like a scared farmer to being like, you know, an expert gunslinger by the end of the game. And also, 3rd Street, Gat, I actually saw your comment on the, I saw your comment recently on one video I was watching. It's like the video that that lawyer guy who like talks about like who's responsible for the damages. Like he does those short videos like lawyer reacts. Like I saw your comment on that on one of those videos. Ugo Lord, that's the guy, yep. Any video today? I don't know if I'll get to a video today, because I've been recording a few things, but I'll definitely have a Watch Dogs video tomorrow, and, I'm gonna have an updated video on Crime Boss, because Crime Boss actually added a lot of new stuff since it's been a year. Hi, I'd like an invite, please. Oh, hey, Tar. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, just deliver the target. We're good. Oh, it's in Walter's pool. Oh, okay. Phoenix.
Just throw 'em in the cell. That is what they're worth.
Yeah, but it's really easy to get Max Honor in Reddit Online. It doesn't really require that much effort. Yes, it's on PlayStation 5. CSI Las Vegas games. No, are they good? Are they... I never heard of them. CSI Las Vegas games. Let me Google this really quick, because I'm just curious on this too. CSI Las Vegas game? It's on computer and on Xbox. Oh.
Your boss seems to have a knack to finding good people. Keep up the good work.
Okay. I'll look at I'll look into these CSI games. Are they anything like LA Noire or Ace Attorney?
Nothing in this business ever comes easy. Should have learned that by now.
Why do you think some people identify as communists despite communism being bad? Ignorance. Yeah, I'd say ignorance is probably the #1 reason.
So, what shall we create?
Communism is a system that sounds fine on paper, but in practice it's been a disaster every single place it's gone to.
We have a batch ready to go.
I think Lorne Malvo might be worse than Anton, though. I think a lot of people that voted in the poll haven't watched Fargo. Like, everybody knows who Anton is in No Country for Old Men, but a lot of people know who, Good work, guys. I remember when these bodies used to be slower to loot too. Oh, okay. So it's like LA Noire, but is it like that you have to like can you get the wrong answer though, Sam? Like when you're trying to figure out the case, like is it like linear that you always have to get the right answer, or can you actually get the wrong answer? You can survive an encounter with Malvo, but he may ruin your life in the process. Yep. Oh. Look at this. The sky's kind of like pink at night. I don't know if I've ever seen it like this before. What's your question? Could Hugo Mueller sue Cole for interrogating his daughter? Back then, no. Today, probably yes. But it wouldn't be Cole that would necessarily have to pay out the damages. It would probably be the police department. Hi, WRV. I haven't seen your videos. I'm sorry, it's been busy. Later, I'll take a look at them, okay? Oh, I don't wanna, I don't wanna talk about those conflicts, Rai. Wait, I thought taxpayers would have to pay up. Well, technically, yes, but it would come out of the police budget, which is taxpayers, though. Maybe, Eagle. We could do something like... Oh, actually... This October, we probably won't do Red Dead Redemption 2 this October, because San Andreas is going to be 10-year anniversary, so we'll probably do San Andreas. Oh no, San Andreas 20-year anniversary. What am I saying? 10-year anniversary. 20-year anniversary San Andreas. Hi, Emily. What's your question, Mads? GTA Advance, right? Yeah. People who had or are in fast food McDonald's mostly, can I choose to stay in one area like the kitchen? I have never worked in fast food, so I can't answer that question. If anybody knows, like, are you assigned to just one task, or are you assigned to multiple tasks when you work in fast food? I would assume they're probably going to assign you multiple tasks. Because the thing is, though, is when I worked in retail and I was assigned to be the cashier, they would make me do multiple things at once, even when I was the cashier. It was ridiculous. The amount of stuff that they'd make me do. Like, my manager, for example, what he wanted me to do is he wanted me to, vacuum the front. He wanted me to, put throwbacks away, which are, like, stuff that people don't want, and there's, like, it just builds up over time. So he wants me to run to the front aisles, put the stuff away while I'm ringing as cashier, vacuum the front, and also to face the aisles, which is, to organize them at the same time. So, you know how annoying that was? I hated that when I was, like, a cashier, and I literally ran, I would go to the front, start vacuuming. I'd vacuum for like less than 10 seconds and a customer would show up and I'd be like, great. And then I'd have to run all the way back to the front, go around the counter, ring the person up. Then I would have to go back around the counter again, get to the vacuum, turn it on, vacuum for 5 seconds, somebody else comes on. Then I gotta go all the way back and repeat the process over and over again. It was annoying, like just going back and forth, back and forth. It's like, wouldn't it just make sense to have one person vacuum while the other person just rings? Why make the cashier do the vacuuming and the ringing? It's just like constantly going back and forth. It's just so frustrating. It's annoying. And so these companies I tell you, these companies are so cheap and they're so greedy. The way they basically look at stuff is they think, oh, you know, we can get one guy to do the job of 3 people. That's basically how they think about it. When did the Wild West truly end? Maybe even the 1930s. Oh, I've never played much of Siphon Filter, Omega Strain. I don't remember that game that well. I remember the original ones, like the classic ones. I remember those. But Omega Strain, no, I don't remember that much, dude. I'm sorry. My day's been good. I'm trying to pump out like a playthrough every day. I had a dream last night of you playing a Lego game. Oh. I'm open to playing them one day too. Thank you, Blade of Stars. I did play some of the Lego Star Wars games when I was a kid. Not really that much, Luca, because I've just been busy with so many projects, but... Well, I've never actually played the Silent Hill games, so when the remaster comes out, it might be my first time playing it, so I think people will want to watch me play that, too. Well, I'm actually gonna have a video coming up on that soon, Phoenix. No, don't play the remaster. Wait, why? I was talking about your old days of work. Do I have time off when my birthday was coming up? No, I didn't. Sunny V2 made great videos on idiot YouTubers who did clickbait and how it killed their channels. Clickbait will get you a lot of views in the short term, but will hurt your channel in the long term. Because people will stop watching. If you look at some of the clickbaiters out there on YouTube, my playthroughs get more views than their videos do, even though they have like millions of more subscribers than me. So that's what I'll say about it. Is do I watch Dragon Ball when I was a kid? I did. I will be doing the Metal Gear Solid 1 later this month. Where do you keep all your cosplay in my closet? Can I speak Polish? Yes, I can. Hey, Anoak, how are you, man? Watch Dogs 1. If you're fleeing from fixers, that's fine since Aiden is one. Any other group, though, CTOS security included, you have to take down or eliminate. So the CTOS security, if they're chasing you, you can't lose them. You have to kill them all. Wait, what do you mean, London? And I will, if you want, I'll kill all the CTOS guards. But the CTOS guards are some pretty bad people. Thanks, Landon. Oh, okay, Landon.
Come on! Again?
I do know a little bit, Janice. There's some of the, they were some of the toughest soldiers I know in the British Empire's army. They were also really good in World War II, I believe, when they were fighting the Japanese. They had that famous knife, I remember, to, Which crime organization is the most powerful? Prohibition Mafia or the cartel? If we're going back, like, decades ago, the Sicilian Mafia would be the most powerful organization, like, decades ago. If we're talking, modern day, the Mexican cartels would destroy the Italian Mafia today. So that's, so I say the Mexican cartels today are the strongest criminal organizations in the world. Can't believe you're 30 and you still look like 21. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's deliver the target. Is there any case coming up in LA Noir that's very creepy, even surpassing the director case? Director case? You mean the traffic case that we did? These cases are gonna get more disturbing. These serial killer cases. More disturbing in a different way, I would say. But there's I remember people told me that there's an arson DLC case that's really creepy. That's what some people told me, but I never played the arson DLC case. I just played the regular arson cases. So, 1, are you doing a new Red Dead Redemption 2 story walkthrough? 2, when are you replaying Max Payne 3? Are you replaying the previous GTA games for GTA 6, whether on the channel or in private? I don't think we're gonna be replaying. I don't think we're going to be replaying Max Payne, or not Max Payne, the GTA games soon. But Max Payne 3, I definitely want to do a playthrough of again. That I definitely do want to do again. Thank you, Captain. Why doesn't the U.S. force Mexico to go after the cartels? Well, the Mexican government is very uncooperative with, Mexican government is very uncooperative with the U.S. when it comes to dealing with a lot of the cartels. And the thing is, though, to an extent, I understand the Mexican government's position, because if the Mexican government basically says, like, oh, you know, we'll take help from American soldiers, you know, stuff like that, then what basically is the people will basically think the Mexican government is weak and that they can't handle the crisis on their own. So basically the Mexican government's position is we're not going to take any help because it's going to show that we're weak, and so we're going to be able to deal with this situation on our own, when in reality they actually can't handle the situation right now. So that's what I'll say about it. There's also a lot of corruption in Mexico, which also contributes to the cartel's power. I streamed Saints Row 2 from Xbox One. How would you deal with the Mexican cartel? Honestly, I think that that the solution to dealing with the Mexican cartel would probably be something like Ghost Recon Wildlands. Like, that's probably the best solution. I'm not a total expert on it, but like when I say Ghost Recon Wildlands, I'm not talking about like necessarily like a military intervention, but I mean more like sending in special forces teams to like kill the cartel leadership and like destroy their drug shipments. That would probably be like, you know, sending like a special team of guys on multiple operations just to disrupt them. I think that would probably be the most effective. Legalizing drugs is not going to stop the cartel, by the way. People think that that's going to somehow stop them. It's not going to.
Listen carefully.
A friend of mine said a Mexican president has cartel ties. One of my friends who lives in Mexico, I actually talked to him about the new president in Mexico. And the new president in Mexico, I remember he told me that, I'm trying to remember what he said exactly. He said that it's all BS, and he told me that they're part of, like, this establishment group of politicians in Mexico. I forget what the name of the group was that he said, but he basically said they're like a group of elitists in Mexico that have a lot of power in the government. Thank you, General's Alert. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, I'm sorry if I didn't see them, London. Well, no, Mexico is a beautiful country. I think the best region in Mexico is probably Baja California. It's a really nice place, and Baja California is where a lot of the resorts are. There are really nice places in Mexico, but I'm saying is that the Mexican government, there's a corruption problem, especially with the police too. Okay, let's get over to the homestead here. Thank you, generals. Gangs that should mainly drop instead of flee from in Watch Dogs 1 is the Irish South Club, Black Viceroy, CTOS Security, and Pawnee Militia. These groups should drop since they are very dishonorable. Yep. Well, a lot of the fixers are scumbags too, Lendon. Are the 5 families in New York still around? I know Genevieve's family is still around. Gambino family is still around. I don't know about the other ones. How would you help Mexico to combat corruption in their country? Like I said earlier, is, you know, if they cooperate with the U.S. and they agree to, like, allow special forces teams to go in and just destroy the cartel, I think that would have a lot of effect. But like I said, I understand the Mexican government's position to an extent, because if they take help from the U.S., that's basically them admitting that they can't handle the situation on their own, and that's going to look very bad for their people, too. And so I kind of understand their position in a way, too. I don't know. I don't watch Kick. I don't know about that guy, Ian. Didn't they already have to give us El Chapo because they couldn't contain him? Yes, that was an agreement that we had.
Bureau stop here. Easy up for inspection. Slow down there. Okay. Stop up. Bureau of Internal Revenue Search.
I will tell you though about El Chapo. He's like one of the most dangerous cartel bosses. About him is there was a massive fail, because El Chapo has a history of escaping from prisons. He's escaped from multiple prisons in Mexico, and what happened is he got captured like a number of years ago, and the Mexican president at the time put him in like a federal prison and said he's not escaping again. He's not. And what happened? He escaped again, and that made him look really stupid. So okay, forget this.
Stop that wagon.
They're taking too long. Did I have more fun with Bully or Manhunt Bully, I would say. El Chapo, yeah, he's held in like a Colorado federal prison, I know that. I'll read the chat in just one moment here, guys. Let me just escape from these revenue agents. Sniper Elite 6 should be set in Finland during the Winter War. That'd be cool. But I would like to see it, I would like to see one in the Pacific or the Korean War, too. I missed a $10 super chat from someone else. I'm sorry. Let me see. I'm sorry if I did. It was it from Captain Beast? I read Captain Beast's super chat. Was it Captain Beast? I read their chat. Did I miss somebody else's? Oh, let me see. Out of all the Red Dead Redemption 1 antagonists, which is more evil? Bill Williamson, Colonel Lundy, Dutch Vanderlyn, or Edgar Ross? Well, Bill, we can cross out immediately on that list. I think Colonel Alendi, because Colonel Alendi has done the most damage possible. Like, not particularly to the main characters, but to his country. So many innocent people have died because of him. He's also a pervert and a rapist. Let me just look at my super chats here. I missed somebody's super chat. If I missed somebody's super chat, I really apologize. I'm sorry. Just chat is going really fast. Hold on. Was it? No, it was from, the last $10 one was from Captain and Lendon. So I read those, What are your thoughts on Penguins Zero? Isn't that the guy with, like, the long hair that, like, rants about stuff? Yeah, I don't have an issue with him. He's fine. No, what was it, Zombie? Hey, Mr. Helado, how are you, man? Oh, I've seen A Bronx Tale a long time ago. I saw that one. One of my favorite movies of all time. Remember the 1990s movie? The guy who played, Matt in The Sopranos actually plays the main character. Would I like to live in Mexico? If I want, I would probably like to live in Baja California. That's a nice place right on the beaches. But it would be really hot. But I really don't like hot temperatures. Ow! Oh, damn. You know the Black Dahlia killer? Not that much. I know there was an unsolved murder case that happened in Los Angeles. Would you live in Greenland? Greenland, yeah. I mean, it's cold, so I could probably live in Greenland. Beeping noise? Wait, what beeping noise? Oh, that beeping noise, yeah, the thing is, though, is that beeping noise, if anybody hears it, I know it's a tiny noise in the background. I know what you're talking about. It's not noticeable. If you really pay close attention, you can hear it, but usually it's not noticeable. But about the beeping noise is, I don't know what the hell is causing it. I don't know. Because I've tried everything. I've Googled, looked things up. I wasn't able to ever find out what's causing it. I've had it for years. And the thing about that, I have the Blue Yeti, right? And here's the thing. I have a gaming laptop at my parents' house. And so when I visit my family, I just edit stuff on my computer there when I'm, like, visiting my family. So I still make videos there. And when I connect this exact same Blue Yeti to that computer, there's no beeping noise. But when I connect it to this one, it's always here. So I don't know, like, what's been causing it, why it happens, or just, it is frustrating. I've been trying to get rid of it for years, but I don't know what's causing it. It's something related to pop filter, if you have one, that is. What's a pop filter? What is your opinion on constitutional monarchy? If you want my honest opinion, I don't like it. I think it's stupid. I will tell you this, though, is what I like in my country is different than what other people like in their country. So, like, for example, when we're talking about the British are probably, like, you know, the most well-known for their constitutional monarchy. When it comes to the British, I know that most people in Britain correct me if I'm wrong, support the constitutional monarchy. And so to them, it's like a big part of their culture and a big part of their country. And so that's fine. You know, it's part of their history, it's part of their country. So in their country, it works, it's fine for them. In my country, though, I would never want a monarchy, even a constitutional monarchy. I would never want that. If we had a monarchy in this country, I'd be calling for it to be overthrown. So that's, so literally, I would never support a monarchy in my country. And you gotta understand is also, America was abused by monarchy, and Americans were treated like garbage by monarchy. And so that's one of the reasons we hate monarchy so much, is like, let's see here. I'm related to a money called Frank Salim. Wait, what? Us awesome. Thank you, awesome entertainer guy. I'm confused. What do you mean? You forgot to answer whether you're replaying the Red Dead Redemption 2 story mode, since you just replayed the first game, and your only walkthroughs when the game first released. Well, I kind of did answer, but I said that I'm not going to be doing a play for Red Dead Redemption 2 in October, Captain, because October is the 20-year anniversary of San Andreas, and so it'll be trying to do like a playthrough of Red Dead and San Andreas at the same time, which are both like really long games. So I want to focus on one. So in October, it'll be primarily San Andreas that we'll be doing. I'll probably put it to a poll. I'll ask people what version of the game they want me to play. If they want me to play Definitive Edition or regular. Definitive Edition actually is not as bad as it used to be, but it still has some problems. But I'll ask people in a poll. I'll ask them like, what you guys want me to play, and whatever version of San Andreas you want me to play in the poll is the one I'll play in October. Fun fact, Ray Pinker and Guy McAfee were both based on real people from that time in LA. Oh, okay. I never heard of McAfee. I didn't know who that is. He's definitely not Italian Mafia, because that name sounds Irish. Could North Korea be considered an absolute monarchy? Not really. I would say it's more of a hereditary dictatorship. That's just what I would say. Happy Friday, the man with no name. But does anybody know that small little beep that comes from my mic? Do you know what might be causing it? Because I've tried for years to like to figure out what's causing it and get rid of it, but I can't. It's like if you listen closely, you'll be able to hear it. It's not noticeable, but it's been annoying for years. And this exact same mic, when I plug this into my gaming laptop when I visit my family, there's no beeping noise. So it only happens on this computer. I don't know why it does that. We don't really use the cruise anymore, Mats, though. Oh, you're related to a mobster. Oh, okay. Awesome entertainer guy. Frank Salim? I've never heard of him. It's wired. It's the Blue Yeti mic. I don't know if that's really true, Zombie Fanatic. It could be fake. Maybe it's clickbait, too. When you're doing World War II, I'll probably try to have another part out tomorrow. I don't think GTA 6 is going to be a disappointment. It can't be a disappointment. Pro, could you premiere your streams? What you mean, like, do them early to, like, have people, like, you mean, like, that little thing when the stream's about to premiere? Maybe I could try to mess around with that. I think the beep is coming from your computer. It might be. It's when I connect this Blue Yeti, but I don't know. It's frustrating. Pro, your opinion of Porfirio Diaz, the dictator of, wasn't he the dictator of Mexico? Porfirio Diaz, if I get the wrong Diaz, I'm sorry. Do you know what Constantinople is? Yes, it used to be the capital of the Byzantine Empire. When the Ottomans conquered it, it was renamed to Istanbul. Wait, why is it bad though, Phoenix? What's wrong with it? Yes, I was right. He was the dictator. Next Ace Attorney part, I'll try to have it as soon as possible. Okay, we're almost up to Coulter. Coulter is this way. Okay. Well, Harold definitely had a terrible fate. Wasn't Richard the Master too? So, yeah. Okay, let's get over to this. My friend Shirako played it. Wait, Shirako the YouTuber? Is that who you're talking about? Wait, isn't Shirako that guy that got banned from YouTube like a couple years ago because he did like a video on Red Dead where he took like that one female NPC and just fed her to the alligator? Was that him? Because I remember there's like a YouTuber that he got banned from YouTube for that, and then they reinstated his account afterwards. It was like, does anybody know who I'm talking about? Was that Shirako? You know Shirako and well, you know Shirako personally though? Phoenix? Yeah, that's him. He got unbanned after the backlash. Okay. And, correct me if I'm wrong on this. Isn't Shirako also the guy who, when a new video game comes out, he beats it, like, right away, and then he posts, like, really spoilery thumbnails? Is that the guy? Is that him? Because I remember there's, like, a YouTuber that, he posts content, and, like, right when a game comes out, and he posts, like, really spoiler titles. Like, right when the game comes out. Like, characters' death scenes and stuff like that. Is that him? Is that Shirako that does that? Would the U.S. Revolution have failed if France and Spain didn't help? At the time, yes. But over time, we would have still won. Because it would have been a guerrilla war. It would have lasted... Even if, like, George Washington was, like, captured and hanged, it still would have gone on for, like, there would have been an insurgency for many years. Yeah, Chiraco does that. So yeah, so yeah, I honestly I can't stand that when a new game comes out, there's people out there who will like
Flaco looks after you, okay?
yeah, so like when a new game comes out, there are people who post titles that are spoilerly right away. Would you be ashamed of your country that did war crimes? Thank you, Luca, for the super chat. What are you Are you talking about the U.S.?
It's all right. I'm going crazy. I hate it.
The U.S. has committed war crimes in its history. They're
I hate sticking around.
you know, I know the most modern war crime that the U.S. committed, I think, was the My Lai massacre that happened in the Vietnam War.
I need you to get me that boat. They got some over by Window Rock.
One of the I know one of the worst war crimes the U.S. also did was, it technically it wasn't during a war, but it was still the military that did it. It was the Wounded Knee massacre. I think that happened in the 1880s or the 1890s. It actually happened not too far from where Mount Rushmore is, I think. Basically, there was a tribe of Native Americans, I forget the name of them, what the tribe was, and they were supposed to, the military was disarming them and telling them to just basically throw all their guns in, like, this big pile in the middle. And what happened was, like, there's apparently, like, two versions of the story. There's one version where, like, one of the Native Americans was deaf and he didn't understand that he had to give up his gun and he didn't want to give up his gun. And the second version is that somebody was just didn't want to give up their gun and just shot, and then the soldiers shot, and it just basically, the soldiers just kept shooting and they killed everyone. Like, the soldiers killed, like, women, kids, you know, people that were not even a threat to them. It was a really, really bad event. But to answer your question fully is, I think that every single country, you know, because when your country has committed war crimes, I think that you should admit to it and admit to the horrible things that your country has done and apologize for it. But I don't think that people should ever be ashamed of their country in modern day, unless I would say their government is, like, you know, really evil and bad. But, like, you shouldn't be ashamed to be an American. You can like, you know, you can say the bad things the U.S. government did, but that doesn't mean that you should be ashamed of being, like, you know, an American today. Hello, Pro. I have a physical copy of Manhunt for the Xbox coming, since I love the game so much, and I want to play it for my 360 as well. Thank you, Mr. Waifu. Thank you for the, thank you for the super chat. As a Canadian, I'm sorry for Trudeau. Well, thank you for the super chat, but Mr. Waifu, is you shouldn't, you know, you shouldn't be ashamed of being Canadian or apologize. You know, you're not responsible for your government. You know, governments are stupid. Governments do dumb crap all the time that they claim is for the good of the people, but ends up hurting the country and hurting other people all the time. How did you find out that in prison a child molester gets beaten or killed by the other inmates? Like, they're all prisoners. Who decides in the social hierarchy? Well, it's something I learned that in school when I was studying law enforcement, but I also, because I watched so many documentaries on, like, different cases and stuff like that, and that is pretty much like a rule, like, all over the world. Like, it's just like a universal rule that's across prisons everywhere. It doesn't matter if the prison is in, you know, Europe, North America, South America, Asia, Africa, is that child molesters are seen as the worst kinds of people in prison, and all the other inmates will jump them and kill them. And so child molesters do not last long in prison. And I don't want to sound like a psychopath when I say this, but I don't feel bad for child molesters getting attacked in prison. Like, I'm not saying some people should get attacked, but I honestly don't feel bad for them getting attacked, because they're some of the worst people ever. And I think, you know, if somebody ever touches a child, I don't think they should ever get out of prison. I think they should be in prison for the rest of their lives. I know you don't live in New York anymore, but how much money would you say you need to start living alone out here? Oh, the thing about it is that here's what I'll say about this is in a lot of countries around the world, I'm not saying countries, but I would say a lot of cities in America and towns, living by yourself will actually save you more money if you're living by yourself. But in New York, living with people will actually save you more money. Living with by yourself is actually going to cost you more money. The reason is because most people in New York, they actually rent their apartment with other people. That's basically what it is they have roommates. Because here's the thing is, if you try to let me just look this up right now, because it's been some time since I checked this, but let's just look at Queens. I'm just gonna look at Queens really quick, because Queens is actually considered like the cheapest. Well, maybe Staten Island would be cheaper, but Queens and Staten Island are generally considered the cheapest boroughs to live in. In Queens, I'm finding, like, studios. And by a studio, I mean, like, basically, it's, like, one big room. So just one big room. There's no bedroom or anything like that. It's just one big room. Your kitchen and your living room is all just one big room, and there's a bathroom. Rents like that is $2,000. If we actually take... Let me actually just look at Manhattan really quick, because Manhattan's gonna be disgusting. I know Manhattan is going to be the worst rent. I mean, let's look at lowest cost. Oh, man. Yeah, I literally, I just put in, okay, wait, hang on a second. Let me just make sure my settings are all here good. I have it set to year 2000. Hold on, let me make something here. Okay, oh my god, it's like, yeah, this is bad. It depends on the part of Manhattan. Some parts of Manhattan I'm seeing here, you can get rent for $2,000 a month, and these are small apartments. These are terrible. But other ones, this is gonna be, yeah, this is not good. So this is not gonna be affordable. The rent is out of control. The Central Park is one of the most expensive areas in New York. Yes, you are correct on that. But why do you want to live in New York, if you mind me asking, Antonio? Is it for, like, a job, or are you going to school there? What's the reason for it? Innocents have child predators in their ranks in Manhunt 1. Yes, I know about that, Mr. Waifu. They do. It says they're creepy and disturbing. How would you react if you were kicked for being AFK for 30 seconds online game? Well, that already happens in Call of Duty. You know, I'll tell you guys something really stupid about people being AFK once. It's something really dumb. When I was doing, like, a Pacific Standard, like, years ago, like, this is a really long time ago, basically what happened was we had a guy that was AFK, and he went AFK, like, right after we got the money in the bank. So, like, we went in the bank, and we just got the money. And when the cops spawned, what ended up happening is this guy who went AFK, because if you spend our AFK in the lobby for too long, what happens is it fails. You get a fail and you have to restart. So if you just stay in the lobby, the bank lobby for too long, it fails. And so the guy was AFK in the bank lobby, and it just kept failing. And we actually tried to, like, push him out of it. We, like, actually tried to, like, run up to him and, like, push him out of it, and it was just failing. And what happened was we were failing for, like, 20 or 30 minutes. So, like, 20 or 30 minutes straight, it was, like, failing. and we had to restart the heist like a bunch of times, like more than 10 times, we had to restart the heist. And what ended up, yes, this is where it's going. And you remember the video. I talked about this in the video. And then what ends up happening is the guy just comes back. And we're like talking to this guy, and we're like, where were you, dude? And you know what the guy says? The guy's like, oh, I went to go make some food. And I was basically thinking to myself, I was like, oh my god, I was like this. Like, it was like, I was like, I got pissed. Like, I literally said, are you effing kidding me? Like, literally, I said that to him. Because I was pissed. And he, and then my other teammates, they were mad too. And what happened is the guy's like, guys, I don't understand why you guys are so pissed at me. I was hungry. I went to go make food. And I was like, literally, dude, if you're hungry, you go eat before the heist or after the heist. You don't literally leave in the middle of the heist to make food and you hold up the rest of your teammates. It's the stupidest thing I've heard. But that's like, that's just so stupid. It was like he left in the middle. I thought it was like an emergency or something, but he left in the middle of the heist because he wanted to go make food. That's so dumb. It's like you're literally playing in the middle of a heist with 3 other people and you just go AFK during that. That's so stupid. Let's see here. Did Antonio ever respond here? I don't live in the city. I live upstate. I'm just ready to start living on my own. Well, upstate is way more affordable than living in New York City. But I will tell you this, Antonio, is why don't you move out of New York? That's what I would say to you. Is because I would advise everybody to move out at this point in New York. I know it's where I grew up, so it's not easy for me to say that like, you know, move out of New York. But, like, New York is just getting so expensive. It's like property is so unaffordable there. Like, rent is out of control. But, like, good luck buying a house in New York, being stuck with a mortgage for the next 30, 40 years. Like, it's just, you know, and your property taxes constantly keep going up. That's what I would just say, is I would advise people just to leave New York. Because, like, I just don't think it's a state that you can relax in anymore. I think it's a state, I think, when I think of New York, I think of a state that's going to bleed your wallet dry. That's basically what I think of when I think of New York. Could George Washington be charged with treason if he ever visited the UK today? No, he can't. Because John Adams was in charge of treason, and John Adams was the first American ambassador to Great Britain. So once the war was over, the war was over. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Mr. Nowhere. That'd be terrible. On the topic of Preds, I still have bad memories of one GTA YouTuber turning out to be a massive piece of crap. Wait, who are you talking about, Mr. Waifu? And thank you for the super chat. I was a bit confused. Well, I would say is don't try to move to New York City right now, Antonio. It's just... Antonio, you said that you want to start... Oh, that's who we're talking about. Okay, Ace, I remember now. Yeah, I remember now. I remember the guy. Yeah, I would just... Honestly, I would rather just not talk about him because it's just so creepy and disturbing. Yeah, that was just, yeah, I honestly, I couldn't believe it when I heard about that. I couldn't believe it. I know it's true, don't get me wrong, but, like, I was just, like, I was in shock. Like, I know he's a terrible person, but, like, I just never pictured him to be somebody like that, but I guess it's just, you never know who people truly are. That's just what, I don't blame you. I remember watching your reaction and thinking, yeah. I need to get some food for my character here. Where am I? I'm actually not even that far from Ansburg. I could probably get to Ansburg from here. When we were doing DHC's heist on Sunday night, someone knocked on my door, and there was a cop standing there. The cop was my father. Wait, what? Own Titan? I'm confused. Someone knocked on my door, and there was a cop standing there. The cop was my father. Wait. But what do you mean exactly? I'm a bit confused. Your father works in the police department, but oh, you were scared for a second. But is the introduction of 5 from Black Ops Zombies historically accurate? Probably not. Has Fidel Castro ever even visited Washington D.C.? I don't know. Has he? Has he ever visited Washington D.C.? I think Fidel Castro has been in the United Nations. I think he was in New York. Has he ever visited D.C. though? I don't know. I know Kim Jong-un has never visited Washington D.C. Kim Jong-un has never even visited New York or America, but I don't yeah. Fidel visited D.C. in the 50s. In the 50s? Well, that's before he was in power, right? I just wanted to see your reaction. Oh, okay. Batman's no-kill rule. This is why I like Aiden Pierce more than Batman. Oh, Faustin is a saint compared to Marty J. Williams. Oh, there's no general store in Ansburg. Okay. Hold on. Where are we gonna go? Let's go to Rhodes. Shout out Red Hood, Jason Todd. Thanks, Mr. Waifu. Hey, Pro, on the topic of the kind of criminals being treated in prison, how are cop killers treated in prison? Cop killers are different. I guess it really depends on I guess it really depends on the cop killer. Some cop killers might be treated like royalty by other prisoners in prison. It really depends on who.
Long time no see. Take a look. Any questions, feel free not to ask.
Provisions.
Okay. Done.
Yeah, buy all the horse revivers. Yes, I'll play it one day, Sean, but I'll tell you something else about Ghost Recon Wildlands. The DLC in Ghost Recon Wildlands was pretty bad. Like the Fallen Ghost DLC was pretty good, the last one, but the first DLC, the first DLC, that one was kind of bad. That kind of sucked.
All right. Good enough for the horse, good enough for you. Fine.
I'm just buying so much food because I haven't had a lot of food for my character in some time.
What's caught your eye?
Okay, and let me... Horse reviver is what we need, right? Why can't I buy these right now? Okay.
Sold. Here. Fine.
Horse Reviver. Okay.
Done.
Okay, there we go. Spent a lot of money here, but
That's popular.
okay.
You looking for something else? Goodbye.
Thank you, Sean, for the super chat. I'll play Wildlands one day. When I opened the door, the first thing I saw was a man in a police uniform. I got scared for a second because I thought I was going to get arrested, but it was just my dad coming to visit me. Oh, well, thank you for the super chat, Own Titan. And I'm playing GTA 4 at the moment. And I have to ask, how bad do you think Roman's gambling problem is in terms of money and possibly losses? Roman probably loses more than half of the money that he earns. Probably more than that. You know what one of my favorite lines that Nico says is, do you remember in when Roman buys the new apartment? Remember that one?
Play nice in here, all right?
When he buys a new apartment and Roman says, "I bought us a new place." And then Nico says to Roman, "You bought it or I did?" And then Roman says, "Nico, I'm offended." That's the, that is, so what, I took on a little debt. It'll be worth it. That's, I think that was probably one of my favorite Nico lines when he says that. You bought it or I did? Okay. Need to equip something else. Haven't. Yep. How would you like to die, Roman? Yep, that's the mission where he gets kidnapped too. Can you do a top 10 video on why the Midwest is the best place to live in America? Maybe I could, but I just don't I don't know if it's the right type of person to make videos like that. Here we go. Okay, thank you, Mr. Waifu. Who is the scumbag character in Red Dead Redemption 2 minus Strauss? Well, I think the biggest scumbag is Micah. I think that Strauss... No, I think I bought the Horse Revivers. I think I do have them. I think that what I will say is... I think that Strauss is a saint compared to Micah. And the reason I'll say that is because... Here's the thing about Strauss. Is Strauss a crappy person? Yes. But here's the thing about him. Strauss is loyal. That's a good trait that he has. Unlike Micah. Micah isn't loyal to anyone by himself. Like Micah says, I'm a survivor. Micah's only loyal to himself. He's not loyal to anyone else but himself. And because of that, Strauss, when Strauss does Strauss put people into debt? He does. He puts people into debt and he traps them. He targets people he knows won't be able to pay off the loans, and he traps them in endless debt. About those people, what I will say about this is that the money that Strauss gets from the debt, Strauss doesn't pocket that for himself. he actually uses that money towards the camp. It helps the camp, it helps feed the camp, helps feed the kids, helps clothe people, helps them buy supplies, guns for the camp. So Strauss's loans fund the camp. It's not like he's doing it just for himself. He's funding the camp, he's helping people out. And Strauss actually, when Strauss says, you know, my loans are helping to feed the children, he technically is right when he says that. He's messed up as it is, his money is helping the camp. So Strauss is loyal, and Strauss does consider Arthur his friend. So when he calls Arthur his friend, he does consider Arthur his friend, and he's very loyal to Dutch. And also, if Dutch actually told Strauss to stop loaning people money, Strauss would listen to him. He probably wouldn't be happy about that, but he would listen. So if Dutch told Strauss no more loans, he would listen. And remember, when Strauss got captured by the Pinkertons, he refused to give up the rest of the gang. He refused. So he got tortured until the end, until he died. So he would not give them up. So that's what I'll say about Strauss, is Strauss is a saint compared to Micah. Yes, he's a pretty crappy person, but at least Strauss is actually loyal to the camp. He's loyal to everybody else in the camp, where Micah isn't. He has no loyalty. So that's why I would say Strauss is not as bad as people think he is. Micah is much worse than him. In my opinion, I think Nicaraguans were completely justified in overthrowing the U.S.-backed Somoza dictatorship in 1972 Nicaraguan earthquake was the last straw, but the Sandinistas were good. Well, the Nicaraguan Civil War was a giant mess. You had the Contras who were basically drug traffickers. And then you had the Sandinistas, which were basically Soviet puppets. You know, communists. So literally you had communist-backed Soviet puppets, and then you had CIA-backed, like, drug traffickers. Literally, it's just like a mess. It's like both of them just sucked in that war. Well, I think you could apply that rule to some people, Jorge, but there are some people that it shouldn't be applied to. I've seen a few of the Ackman's reviews, yes. How much money does Nico give Roman after missions? Well, none, makes it seem, because his money never goes down, but I guess it's done, like, behind the scenes. Does anyone need to sell their camp, by the way? Anyone need to sell their camp? Daniel Ortega, well, yes, he's the dictator of Nicaragua right now. Oh, I wouldn't say freed, more like under new management. Here's, I will also say another thing, I will say another thing that, that people don't know about. The country of Nicaragua, Nicaragua is a socialist dictatorship in Central America. A lot of people don't hear about Nicaragua much. You mostly hear about Cuba and Venezuela. But Nicaragua is a socialist-backed dictatorship that is in Central America. Its economy isn't as bad as Venezuela, but it's still pretty bad. But about Nicaragua, and let me, hey, Pro, I signed up to be a Ultra sponsor on your Patreon, but I don't have a Skype. Anyways, I can send you feedback or ideas if I ever have any. Okay, Flying Ryan, and thank you for sponsoring me on Skype. You can message, thank you for Patreon. I'm sorry, I'm just losing my track of thought. Thank you for sponsoring me on that. Whenever you need anything, just feel free to message me. I always respond. But about what I was trying to say about Nicaragua. Here's something that people don't know about Nicaragua. Nicaragua claims parts of Costa Rica. So Costa Rica is the richest country in Central America, and Nicaragua claims parts of Costa Rica today. They literally say that parts of Costa Rica are theirs, and that's historically their land. And Nicaragua has threatened Costa Rica several times. Now, will Nicaragua invade Costa Rica? Probably not. It's always a possibility. They could invade and try to conquer parts of Costa Rica. And here's the thing about Nicaragua. If Nicaragua invaded Costa Rica would lose really quickly. They would lose really fast, because Nicaragua is a much worse economy than Costa Rica, but it has a much more effective military than Costa Rica. And Costa Rica, they really have no military. They don't have any. The reason that Costa Rica doesn't have a military is because what Costa Rica has dealt with a lot of coups in the past. Been a lot of coups, a lot of people have tried to overthrow the government, and the military's constantly tried to overthrow the governments in a lot of Central American countries. Costa Rica got pissed at the endless coups from the military, and so they abolished the military. They just got rid of it. And to an extent, it has worked, because Costa Rica's economy has flourished. They've invested all the money that they used to invest in the military, they invested in their infrastructure, they invested in hotels, and they made the country very attractive to visit. However, though, the thing that I will say is that do you know what Costa Rica's plan is to stop a Nicaraguan invasion? Do you know what their entire plan is to deal with that? Does anybody know what their plan is if Nicaragua invades them? Like, their entire plan, because their entire plan is actually ridiculous to stop a Nicaraguan invasion. Most evil Red Dead Redemption 2 antagonists: Como Driscoll, Leviticus Cornwall, Angelo Bronte, Agent Milton, or Micah Bell. Micah's the worst one in Red Dead Redemption 2, Mr. Nowhere. Thank you for the super chat. Any plans for Father's Day? I'm gonna send my father over a gift, and I'm gonna call him on Father's Day. Nicaragua probably does have the strongest military in Central America. You probably are right on that. But here's the thing: is remember how I said Costa Rica has no military? That is both a double-edged sword. It's allowed their country to invest in other resources, but it's left their country defenseless. If Nicaragua invades, they'll conquer Costa Rica really quickly. Costa Rica's entire plan on stopping a Nicaraguan invasion is that the U.S. comes. That is literally their entire plan, is to rely on the U.S. coming to protect them in case Nicaragua invades. And honestly, that's a stupid plan. That's literally their entire plan. I don't think that Nicaragua would invade Costa Rica anytime soon, because if Nicaragua invaded Costa Rica, their economy would collapse. But in the future, if they feel they're in the right position, they might. Mexico probably would not intervene if Costa Rica was attacked. Mexico's, I don't think Mexico even borders Costa Rica, does it? I know Mexico borders Guatemala. Let me just see. No, it doesn't. No, Costa Rica is bordered by Panama and Nicaragua, so I don't see how Mexico would intervene. Yeah, so no. They are part of the UN, but that's really Oh, Capitale, because I just hate how they say it personally. Zombie Fanatic. I guess they don't even want to risk having a self-defense force because of all the constant coups. That's it. Pad, don't play Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Play Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn, which is a modern mod, and again, you can change history. This is a strategy game, right? Well, I still want to play Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I want to buy Call of Duty Black Ops 6 mainly for the story. What country would intervene if Nicaragua invades Costa Rica? Probably no country. Panama wouldn't want to deal with it. Honduras probably wouldn't want to deal with it too. So probably no country. I don't know if the U.S. would respond militarily. I don't know if they would. There definitely would be sanctions. Do I see correctly how much money you have? Yep. Working a lot in this game, playing this game for years. Have you seen Inside Out 2, the new movie that came out today? No, I haven't, Sean. The U.S. has a treaty with Costa Rica to intervene if they get attacked. Do they? Really? Well, I didn't know that then. Pro, if someone gets sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, what happens to their house-like car? If any of their stuff was acquired illegally, you know, for like drug money, for example, the government is going to seize that stuff. If it comes to property that was acquired legally, then that property is going to probably be given to family members. If there is no family members to give the property to, the government will probably auction it off. Grand strategy. I know you're not a fan of it, but you're gonna love the masterpiece game, Hearts of Iron 4. I wish that game was on console, but I'll look into it. Yeah. John D. Rockefeller. All of those, you know, billionaires, well, technically they weren't billionaires back then, but by today's standard, they would be billionaires. All those billionaires, Rockefeller, Carnegie, those guys, a lot of those guys were scumbags. Was there any Irish characters or NPCs in GTA 3? I've never seen any, which is odd for it being based off New York and all. Technically, yes, there was technically an Irish character, McCaffrey. He doesn't play that big of a role, but he's the corrupt Irish American cop that you kill. He doesn't, but he appears in Liberty City Stories. In Liberty City Stories, he's a major character in Liberty City Stories. Okay. Thank you, somebody. Okay, let's try to do this in, Oh, I shot off his hat. That was close, though. Taking cover behind that. It's not going to protect you. Definitely is dark in here. Trying to get better at first-person free aim. Damn, it's getting a little hard to see in here. Damn, okay, hang on. Oh. Okay. It was revenge for Billy and a lot of other things. Matt's was a made man, Tommy wasn't. I remember that line too. That's from that is from Goodfellas. Yep. Oh, and my horse is here, okay. Besides Franklin, who do you think would have lived a better life after the story of GTA 5 if you would choose the option not to kill anyone? Michael probably have the best life, probably. Yeah, say Michael probably would. How far into LA Noire campaign? We're halfway through the homicide section of the game. Oh, by the way, has anybody heard about that new boxing game coming out, Undisputed? Like, I really like Fight Night Champion, and so I just heard about it recently. It's coming out October. I want to get it, that game. I do want to get it. Boxing is, like, the only sport that I really like. This time the loser wins. I love that song. It's like my favorite rap song in that game too. I would love a sequel to LA Noire 2. Daniel Ortega was not just horrible to his children, to his people, but to his children. He abused them a lot and forbids them from leaving the country. His wife knew about the abuse, but she kept her mouth shut. Oh. Well, I'm not surprised that a dictator acts like that, even to their family. April, love your content. What's my favorite World War II game? My favorite World War II game, I would say, would probably have to be Call of Duty World at War. If you're wondering what my favorite current World War II game, like the most recent World War II game is, it's a game called Hell Let Loose. That's probably my favorite World War II game. I'm a very high rank in Hell Let Loose. I'm like 72 or 73 in Hell Let Loose. And here's the thing is, I have played virtually every role in Hell Let Loose. The only role I have never really played in Hell Let Loose is the Commander. And the reason I haven't played the Commander is because every single time I play the Commander, I have people scream at me. Like, I'm trying my best. I try to learn. Like, I've watched YouTube videos on what to do as Commander. And, like, I've tried to learn how to get better at Commander. But I have these people that just, you know, scream at me and yell at me in the game. Because for people that don't know, Hell Let Loose is a 100-player World War II game. And it's 50 versus 50. And there's one commander per each team. And what happens is the commander is responsible for doing, like, a lot of things. Like spawning tanks, spawning supplies, calling in airstrikes, you know, stuff like that. And what happens is the people in Hell Let Loose can get really toxic towards the commander. Like, I tried playing as the commander once. I told people, like, guys, this is my first time. I'm gonna try my best. And I had people just screaming at me, cursing at me, like stop playing effing commander. You don't know what you're doing. Blah blah blah. This, like, just getting on my case. It's like, you know, that. People are just really toxic. Favorite role in Hell Let Loose? It would have to be probably the sniper. Yeah, probably the sniper. Probably have a favorite role. I also like the tanks a lot too. You know what? One of the stupidest, situations I've ever had in Hell Let Loose. I remember me and my friend, we were driving a Panther tank, and I remember that when we were driving the Panther tank, we were playing. I don't remember the name of the map in Hell Let Loose. It's that map with the pumping station. I know that. Like, it's like the city, and then there's like the pumping station. And there's like those bridges and like the water nearby, and I remember that our team was pushing up with like a bunch of infantry. We moved up with the Panther tank, and we helped clear out a lot of infantry, and there was so much infantry. We killed so many of them. But then what happened is our Panther tank's treads got knocked out. So we got hit by a bazooka, and the treads got knocked out, so we were disabled. We couldn't move. And the thing is, though, this was like when the game first came out in like October of like 2021 on PlayStation. And so what ended up happening is me and my buddy, we both didn't have repair kits, so we weren't able to fix that because we weren't high level. And my friend, who was the commander, the tank commander, was like telling the other officers in the chat, like, send an engineer up here, fix the tank, like, fix our treads. And even though we were stuck, we couldn't get out, because if we got out, we would get shot. And even though we were stuck, the turret was still working, and we kept killing everybody. So every single time enemies would come near us, we would kill them. So we were just dropping like so many enemies. We were killing so many guys, and we were yelling, like, you know, get an engineer up here, somebody come up here and fix our tank so we can push. Nobody was coming up, and none of the squad leaders were communicating with us. Like, none of them were talking. They were like, saying absolutely nothing. And, my friend got pissed, and he just basically said in the officer chat, he said, you know, what are you guys doing? Why are you guys not communicating? Like, how are you guys playing as officers and you guys aren't using mics? And then what ends up happening is one of the officers, he gets on the mic and he says, he starts giving us an attitude, and he says, like, oh, well, you know, not everybody can afford a mic. You know, not everybody has a mic. You know, you don't have to be rude and stuff like that. And you know what my friend said at that point? My friend said, you guys are on PlayStation 5. The majority of the team was on PlayStation 5. You have mics in your controllers. Why aren't you using them? And that guy immediately shut up. So it's like, you know, not everybody can have a mic. It's like, you guys are on the PS5. There's a controller in the mic. It's just the thing is, people are muting their mics and they're not wanting to talk. That's the problem. So it's not that people don't have mics, it's that they don't want to talk. So like, you got a mic in the damn controller. It's like, it's just that. But look, if you don't want to use your mic, that's fine. But you should not be playing a role that requires communication. You should not be playing a commanding role that requires a microphone if you're not going to use a mic. It's stupid. And so that's like, and that was like a bad experience that we had in Hell Let Loose. Pro, it used to be my favorite Call of Duty World at War ending, but when I played Hearts of Iron 4, his opinion has changed. Favorite weapon in Hell Let Loose? I would say probably the Soviet SVT-40. Yeah, Jack, I was just talking about a bad experience in Hell Let Loose. What are your thoughts on Black Ops 6 story mode needing an internet connection to play? Do you think it's new? What? You need internet to play the story mode? This is the first time I'm hearing about this. It sounds stupid. That's dumb. Why do you need an internet connection to play story mode? The Soviet PTRS is other garbage in Hell Let Loose. It never destroys anything. It can. It just really depends on where you aim, because you can disable tracks with it, and what you can do is you can blow up smaller and medium tanks if you aim at the gas. So you have to aim at the very back of the tank. There's specific parts of it, because the thing is, it's meant to be realistic, because by the time of World War II, in World War I, anti-tank rifles were effective, but by the time of World War II, anti-tank rifles were starting to become ineffective. There's a reason we don't use anti-tank rifles anymore. So literally, anti-tank rifles started becoming ineffective at the time of World War II. So the PTRS can blow up German tanks, but you just have to hit in the right spot. Go on YouTube and look up a video where to aim with the PTRS. I'm sure there's like videos on it. There's probably guides on Google too where you have to aim. But there's specific parts of the tank you aim, and if you get the right shot in, you can blow it up if you hit the gas in the right parts. It's very difficult because you got to get right on their rear. You got to get right behind them. But there are specific parts. When it comes to a heavy tank like the Panther or the Tiger, the PTRS is going to do nothing. But on the smaller tanks like the medium Panzer and the German light tank, I forget what it's called, and also the German what's the other one, Puma, that one the PTRS can take those things out. Yes, they were, Alonso. I guess maybe Luca. I don't want to get into that history right now, Jesus. That would be a long history to explain. Do the Soviets have bazookas in Hell? I mean, not bazookas, Jeeps in Hell Let Loose? Because they should. Because part of the Land Lease program, they had a lot of Jeeps. I hope, you know what I hope? I really hope that Hell Let Loose adds those 2 factions they promised. Because I don't know if you know about this, Glover, and anybody who plays Hell Let Loose here, the developers of Hell Let Loose promised 2 brand new factions that they were supposed to add. They never added them. And those 2 factions were actually supposed to come out last November. They never came out. They got massively delayed, and there's no release date on them right now. But the 2 factions that are supposed to come out is Finland and Poland. Those are the 2 factions that are still supposed to come out. Finland during the Winter War, so that was supposed to come to Hell Let Loose. They announced it. They actually, look it up, Finland Hell Let Loose. It was supposed to come out. The developers confirmed it, and it was Finland versus the Soviets. And then they were gonna add Poland in 1939. So there was actually going to be like maps in Poland in 1939, and one of the battles that was going to be added in Hell Let Loose is the Battle of the Gdansk Post Office, which the Gdansk Post Office, that was a federal post office, but the people that were working at that post office were military police, and the Polish military police actually held out in the post office for a long time, and the Germans couldn't take the post office for a long time. Eventually, I think what they did was they set the post office on fire, but the Polish soldiers that were in the post office, they actually survived for a very long time. They held out for very long. The commander in charge of that, what ended up happening, he was wounded, and when the Germans actually broke through the walls to breach the post office, the commander actually detonated grenades and blew himself up, and he detonated a bunch of grenades on his belt, and he blew himself up, and the people who breached through the door. So I know that happened. It's a really sad story. Is virtually all the Polish soldiers that were involved in that died. Almost all of them died. There's only a few that escaped. The rest that were actually caught as prisoners were actually immediately executed. And the Germans actually claimed that the Geneva Convention didn't apply to them because they were post officers. That's what they claimed. They claimed that they weren't soldiers, but they were military soldiers. They were military officers. So they were military police. So the Geneva Convention very much applied to them. But the Germans used that as just an excuse, just so that they could execute all of them. But that battle was supposed to be in Hell Let Loose. They were going to add that battle in Hell Let Loose, but it never came out. That's the unfortunate thing about it. Do you think people are inherently good or bad? I think that people are inherently neutral. That's what I think. I think that when people are born, I don't think anybody's born good or evil. I think people are born neutral, and I think that they choose to become evil or good over time. That's what I think. I do think that people inherently are have self-interest. That's what I think. People inherently look for what's good for themselves first. I think that's a natural, thing that everybody pretty much has. Some people are more self-interest than others, but I think everybody has self-interest to a degree. I like to read a lot, Louis. There's a quote that the Vietnamese anti-communists like to use. It's attributed to South Vietnamese President Van Thieu. How do I pronounce that whole name? Gunner, don't believe what communists say. Look at what they do. That's actually a great quote. Has Been Hotel after watching Fallout. It's an adult anime musical comedy focuses on Charlie Morningstar and her hotel for the damned souls of humans to reform them. Huh. I'll look into it, Zach. But I guess I'll be wrapping up the stream here, guys, because I still got to do something tonight. There's a project I have to work on tonight. I probably won't play poker now, so I'm just going to wrap it up here. I'll play poker next week, I promise. But wait, do not watch Has Been Hotel. Wait, what is it exactly? I know he told me to watch it, but is it something bad? I didn't know. Not a dinner project. It's a project I have on... I'm working on another lore video for you guys, by the way. It's a GTA 5 lore video. And this GTA 5 lore video is actually going to be out in a couple days. So it's going to be... Wait, so is that Has Been Hotel something bad? I didn't know. It's a decent show. It's very vulgar. Oh, okay. You have the best lore videos. Thank you. Okay, guys. So I guess I will be wrapping up the stream here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for watching the stream. I know we kind of did a little shorter stream today, but I just had to take care of a few things tonight still. I will do a longer GTA stream on Sunday. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed the stream, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.